Welcome back live to Euston Park for the sixth and final of our morning bulletins to explain what's been going on here at Euston Park this weekend. It is, of course, the Endurance Cup Festival with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. His Highness is here. He was with us yesterday. If you were with us for our preview programme last night, you'll have seen His Highness. There he is. He is keeping a very close eye on proceedings. And not just on the equestrian side, but this is a venue that he loves very much. This is where he won the World Championship back in 2012, and a tremendous benefactor of the sport, loves Euston Park, and an extremely generous man looking after us last night in the party, and also, of course, the UAE teams that are here. The patronage of His Highness is something that they enjoy, and also the European teams receiving a flavour of UAE hospitality here at Euston Park this weekend. So we're delighted to see His Highness with us today. And proceedings very much underway. They have been since 7 o'clock this morning. Our team here at Euston Park, as well as me, Mark James, you've got Rebecca Adams and also Callum Medell, who's been in the commentary box all morning. Callum, let me start with you, looking back at the morning's action. I suppose we've got to start with the three-star, the 160-kilometre class. They are where exactly? Third loop now?
Yeah, they're in the third loop right now. It's probably the way you'd expect them to be at this stage. A couple of the 120s have gone past them in terms of distance because they've got that lesser distance to cover. As you can see, there's a few of them here. No surprise that there's plenty of the UAE riders are right at the top of the leaderboard. Notice there's a couple of Spanish riders that are there or thereabouts as well. The general speeds they're doing will pretty much be constant. So there's nothing major to develop because there's just so much. They've got such a longer time and to race. So there's been more developments in the other shorter categories than the top 160 category.
Now this is the 160 tracker. This is roughly how we tell what's happening. Although, just to confuse matters, of course, it may not be the leading group that contains the leader because of what's happening in terms of the break and so forth when they're back here.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about how they come back and what state they're in. They can lose all what they gain on the track. They can lose all the time in the holding period or during the vetting process. And it's also, there could be a couple of horses that aren't right in the top pack at the moment that have really conditioned their horse well. They come in and then they really make up the time when it matters. So at the moment, like I said, there's so much longer to go. We're only on the third loop. There could be so much change in this category, far more than the other categories.
Now, the fascinating fact that you gave me earlier, you've been keeping an eye on the average speeds. Now, this is all about stamina. Endurance, of course, is what it's all about. But you'd have thought the one-star class, the 80-kilometre class, would be where the quick guys are, but it's not. It's the 120s.
No, the main reason for that is because the riders are less experienced, they're not used to FEI competition, and also the horses are younger horses, so they're kind of just getting used. It's almost like a training ground almost. It's like you test the horse at a certain distance and to get them ready for another distance. You see there's a fair rigmarole of horses there from completely different categories, so it's not the easiest of being a commentator day, but in terms of going back to the speeds, the 120s are the quickest, and you expect the 160s are the slowest, given they have a lot longer to travel and they need to conserve stamina. So that is an interesting aspect of it, but given the 120 category is also a much bigger field as well, that those distances and speeds may change.
Okay, so both the 160 and the 120 are now looking at their third loop. The 160s, of course, have 6 loops in total. The 120s have 4 loops, but all 160 and 120 competitors do pink followed by white followed by blue, and then the 160s do red, yellow, and then red again. The 120s do yellow to finish, and the 80 kilometres, completely different. They do white, blue, and red. So a real cornucopia, I think, is a word that I haven't used for a long time, but quite tricky to follow, and particularly the 80, which obviously we saw the staggered start. Let me turn to Rebecca, because you've been out on the course this morning. Your thoughts about how things were looking and the reaction of the competitors you've spoken to?
That's right, Mark. So of course they set off at 7 o'clock this morning, so I was out on the course bright and early. Everyone looked to be having a really good time out there. The horses' ears were pricked, they looked interested in the surroundings. The riders as well looked to be enjoying themselves, and of course such a beautiful park. They had plenty to look at, plenty to enjoy out there. And of course there's not just all the activity here behind us in the paddock area, but out on the course as well. You get crews who are following their teams, so they can hand out water, check everything's okay with the horse and the rider, and also, you know, just look at the course too.
Now, you've been chatting to quite a few people. Just before we came on air, you said you really enjoyed one particular interview that we've not yet seen. We're holding that for the 1 o'clock programme because we'll be on air throughout the afternoon. A sculptor?
That's right, Mark. So of course we speak to horses and riders here and vets and all sorts of people who you'd expect to be involved with this equine sport, but there's a person who's a little bit different, a guy called Rupert, who I spoke to earlier, who actually produces these incredible sculptures of horses, more than life-size, and they're fashioned out of copper wire and various other bits of metal, and they really are incredible, and I'm really excited for everybody to have a look and see what he's done.
Okay, we'll speak to him later on. Rebecca, you'll be out and about. Callum, I'm really sorry, you're going to be stuck in your bunker this afternoon. We will pop across and see you from time to time, but you'll be the man trying to sort out who's doing what, who's leading which classes, and you'll bring us those updates. And we are live, the three of us, together with the competitors and the organisers, the people behind the scenes here at Euston Park throughout the afternoon. Please join us. We're back on air from 1 right through until 6.